Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video we are going to be talking about the Freya kit and whether or not you should or should not buy her. First of all, I'll give a general overview of the kit and then we'll talk about the pros and the cons. So as you know by now, the Freya kit can be bought on the BedWars store for 399 Robux, and her description is damages enemies to unlock your frost passive. Once unlocked, dealing damage will apply stacks of frost. At 4 stacks, frost is consumed and slows the target. Emerald sword is replaced by the ice sword, which amplifies the frost passive. So this kit is an aggressive frost kit. She specializes in attacking the enemy and slowing them down with her frost passive. This frost passive will cause a frost effect that will be shown on top of the enemy's head. This effect stacks up to 4 times. Once the 4 are up, the stacks are consumed, which will then slow down your enemy's movement speed, allowing you to catch up to them. Keep in mind that this frost effect needs to first be unlocked, sort of. So there's a small bar in the middle bottom of the screen when you're playing her, and that bar first needs to be filled, and then and only then is when the frost effect will start. This small bar is not that hard to fill up, and you only need to fill it up 1 time. And I have a tip on how you can fill it up pretty quickly at the beginning of the game, even before the match starts, so I'm gonna include that at the end of the videos. So another thing that you should know before buying this kit is that she isn't allowed to buy an emerald sword. However, with me, this isn't a deal break since I don't typically ever reach the game long enough to have the time to even purchase the emerald sword, let alone surpass 20 emeralds. Since you can't purchase the emerald sword, your only alternative is the ice sword, which is only available to this kit. The ice sword costs 6 emeralds and can be purchased in the item shop, although keep in mind that you will have to purchase the armory first, and the armory costs 4 diamonds for those of you who don't know. Okay guys, so now let's move on to the pros and the cons of this kit. The first pro to this kit will have to be being able to slow down your enemy. I mean, do you guys know how annoying it is to chase people around the map, especially when they're just so easily able to escape? With this kit, the frost ability, you will be able to slow down your target for around 1.6 seconds with a 3-second cooldown after each effect. Now, those stats are with a regular sword, and once you have the ice sword, the effect is a little bit more longer. Instead of the 1.6 seconds, it's now 2.5 seconds. The second pro is that she doesn't need to purchase the ice sword in order to use her frost effects. A wooden sword will do. Now, yes, the ice sword is better for damage, but her ability starts as soon as you join the map. The third and final pro for this kit is being able to purchase the ice sword for a fraction of the cost of the emerald sword. Now, the emerald sword does do a bit more damage than the ice sword, but you're able to obtain a sword that does far more damage than a regular diamond sword, and only for 6 emeralds. I mean, granted, you do have to spend 4 diamonds in order for you to open up the armory, but once doing so, the sword only costs you 6 emeralds, which isn't too bad considering the sword does a pretty good amount of damage. And for the most part, you should be able to get it within like the first 3 to 5 minutes of the game. I just recently played a game with her and I got the ice sword in the 3-minute mark. But let's keep going. Now let's talk about the cons of this kit, which there are quite a bit. The first con, and I think the most obvious, is the fact that you cannot purchase an emerald sword with this kit. Now, personally to me, this isn't a con since I can usually finish the game in less than 15 minutes. And for the most part, in order to buy the emerald sword, you need a lot more time than that. The emerald sword is pretty much a very late game sword. However, I can see how this would be a con to most people. Keep in mind though that the ice sword does 47 base damage and the emerald sword does 55 base damage. Now this is an 8 hit point difference, but it is so much easier to obtain the ice sword than it is to get the emerald sword. So yeah, it's like I just said with the last pro there. Although you can't get the emerald sword, you do have the ice sword, which is a lot more easier to get. As I said, it shouldn't take you no more than 3 to 5 minutes to get it, as opposed to the emerald sword. That emerald sword, I mean, most of the times I have to wait around until the 20-minute mark, and by this time all beds are already destroyed by the game anyways. Yeah, trying to get 20 emerald swords is not that easy. It's doable for sure, especially if you have a farmer on your team and maybe you have all your team generator upgrades and you're constantly running to the middle. Of course you can get all the 20 emeralds that you need in order to buy the emerald sword, but it will take you quite a bit of time, as opposed to the ice sword, which only costs 6 emeralds. And let's be realistic, getting 6 emeralds is not that difficult. So the second con to this kit is that upon death, you do lose your eye sword. It's not like the other kits where if you buy the intended sword for the kit, you don't lose it. But I guess it would make sense to lose it in this case, since those who also purchase an emerald sword or even a diamond sword lose that upon death too. So just make sure to keep that in mind when you're purchasing this kit. The ice sword is not permanent. So if you die, you're gonna have to go and look for 6 more emeralds in order to repurchase it again. The third and final con would have to be the fact that you have to unlock her frost ability by filling up the bar on the beginning of the game. Keep in mind, even after having to unlock this frost ability, then you have to hit the enemy to start the stacking process. Like, good luck trying to hit an enemy 4 times before they run away, and even after the frost ability hits, all it does is slow them down for a couple of seconds. It doesn't even apply damage. Wait, and I know I said that this was the final con, but think about this too. The stacking effect is specific to that particular enemy that you hit. So you have to hit one person 4 times, and you can't exactly hit person A 3 times and then switch to person B and hit them once to have the effect. Nope. If person A runs away before you get the 4th hit in, now you're stuck fighting person B and you have to start all over again and now focus on hitting person B 4 times. And as I've said before, good luck hitting someone 4 times before they can run away or just jump off the edge of the map to use a balloon. Also, keep in mind, any kit, or really anyone even, whether you're using a kit or not, can just purchase snowballs. And though the snowballs don't do that much damage, I think it's just like 1 damage, between 1 and 3 damages depending on the kit that you're using. Those snowballs slow down the enemy, so it sort of defeats the purpose of Freya, because Freya's whole ability is being able to slow someone down after 4 hits. Yet anyone can purchase these snowballs and all you have to do is just hit someone and it slows them down. I think it's like something very low, something like half a second or maybe even a second, but nevertheless you're able to chuck like 15 at this one person to slow them down, and by then you should have been able to catch up to them. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're about to purchase this kit. But now that you know all of this, the question is, should you purchase the Freya kit? And honestly, I have 2 answers for this question. If you're the type of person to leave your base as soon as you have enough wool to do so, and you like to play aggressively, that is, attacking anyone and everyone who crosses you, then 100% this kit is for you. The frost effect alone makes this kit worth it. But if you're the type of person to sit back at the base until you have the needed items to attack someone, then I would say no, this kit isn't for you. This kit is meant for the aggressive type of person that will go out and wreak havoc on anyone and everyone around them. Okay guys, so once you join this game and you're the Freya kit, see this bar right here? What you're going to want to do is immediately start hitting these people inside of the stack right there. You see how the bar is going? You won't do any damage, but it will get rid of this bar right here for the rest of the game.